In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news, plus the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, good day, viewers around the world. Good day to you, wherever you may be. Today is the 11th day in February, beautiful midweek here in Europe, and I'm here in the Milan studio. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajua, and joining me far away, Melbourne, Australia. Who do we have there?
Hello, Mark Godwin. This is Wale or Lighton, reaching you live and direct from Melbourne, Australia.
Good, Wale. It's good to see you. I
Same
know
here,
you guys are still boxing. You're still boxing in the summer. Your weather is still very nice there. Is that not so?
Yeah, that's correct. We are in our last leg of summer. So for our international audience, our summer months, December, it's quite the opposite of what you guys have in Europe. So it's from December to February. So that's our summer month. So we are approaching the end of summer. So
okay. Approaching the end of summer. So we are still also floating in the very, very freezing weather. Sometimes it gets to the minus, like some parts of Europe do like -5. Some could go even beyond -9. That's extremely cold, but it's all beautiful. We thank God. It's all part of life. This is what makes up the human life. Weather changes, different weather comes in, and we're still moving. Wale, you're welcome. So let's look at issues around the world, Wale. It looks as if it's now a daily occurrence. It's now a daily part of our news to talk about a kidnap, an attack on people, attack on villages, attack on vulnerable citizens of Nigeria. So yesterday again, one person was killed, and 15 travelers were abducted in Benue State. Benue State is Middle Belt, Nigeria, and they said the gunmen came on them while they were traveling from the Otokon to Okopokas road in Benue. These were travelers. They were applying that road at that time of the day, and these people came and took them all and killed one person. So, Wale, it's just sad that every time we gather, this is what we say. Some people will say we are the marketing Nigeria, but it's not really about that. It is about what is the situation, the reality of what's happening, security situation in Nigeria. So what will you say about this recent one? Take note that we were still talking about Benue again last week, and we were also talking about Kwara 2 weeks ago or last week too. And these are all gruesome attacks. Wale, what will you say about this?
Yeah, thank you. I actually came across the news. I think maybe they were reporting, they gave conflicting numbers. The one that I read, they said 14 were abducted and 2 were killed. But regardless of whether one person was killed or 2 persons were killed, we're still talking about unnecessary loss of lives.
Wale, your voice is bouncing. Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
You're saying something. Yeah. The voice is going off.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
There's slight hitch there. Do you need to refresh something? Wale?
Yeah, it will be the first time that
I can. Yes.
Can you hear me?
You don't normally have network.
Yeah, I don't normally have
I don't
this.
know
Can
what
you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's fluctuating. It's not going smooth. It's cutting.
Okay.
Because what you're saying, yeah, our viewers need to hear you. What you're saying there.
So
anyway, viewers,
can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
I can, but it's cutting. It's maybe you could just refresh or go out and come in again or something.
Okay, let's try. Let's try again.
Yes, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry, Wale. Our viewers, Wale is giving us. We're talking on the update, the security update in Nigeria. So what we're saying is, it's now a recurring thing. Every moment, every time we gather here in the newsroom, we're talking about a kidnap, abduction, killing, all of it. And it doesn't look good. We really don't want to talk about this. We don't want to be bringing sad stories, sad news to people. But this is the reality on ground. The reality on ground is people are being adopted, some group of mad men and mad group of people called terrorists, called bandits, called unknown gunmen. Go take our people, kill our people, attack villages, destroy farm yards and all of that. And it is really, really sad. So the latest one now is the one that has happened in Benue. The Benue police commissioner is giving us that update. Yeah, Wale, you're welcome again. Go ahead.
Let's try. Can you hear me now? You are frozen.
Yes, we're still here, viewers. We're here. So we're sorry for all of these network issues. Internet has a very funny way of uh, taking people through some time, but we still navigate. We still have to hang on. So what we're discussing is the situation in Nigeria, and we're talking about these security issues that is not palatable, security issues that is not favoring our people. People end up being caught up in the web of terrorists, men, angry, wicked-hearted men that want to destroy lives they did not create. They want to destroy lives they did not create. So that's the situation here now. That's the situation, and it's really, really very, very sad. So right there in Benue, Benue is having that issue. 15 people were abducted, and one person was killed in Benue State, Nigeria. So Middle Belt, Nigeria. Now we can't take that. We can't take that anymore. We have to rise up and really fight on this. So viewers, this is what we're going to. Hopefully, rescue will come, help will come. Yes. So the Benue Commissioner of Police was reporting that the bus was carrying 16 people, and they were on their way through Okpoko, and they were attacked at that as they were moving. So it's sad that we every time talk about this. Very, very sad. And we have to keep on also not getting discouraged with all of these their acts. So so this is it. This is it. Still hoping to have while
Yes, yes, you can join up, Wale. Yes, I'm here. So, Wale, sorry for all of this. I found out that also my network. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure that it's not from my end, because at the stage you were frozen, and
now
I was here.
Okay, Wale. This is part of the what we go through in virtual things with internet technology, but we don't relate. Yeah. So what we're
just respond to what you were saying. Look, it's very sad that we have to be here week in, week out, talking about security challenges, but we're coming from a place of solution. We're not coming from a place of condemnation. Apparently, the people in that kidnapping business, for whatever reason, it is a lucrative business for them. That's why they continue to do it, and the government must act, and they must act decisively on this. So I just want to take a different approach tonight. Like, we try to be solution focused in some of the things that we say on this topic. I think that we also need to ask some of the state governors, because at the end of the day, the protection of lives and property within the jurisdiction of a state, that's the governor. That's the job of the governor as the number one security person in the state. I don't know exactly what they are doing in terms of bringing the police and some crime prevention practitioners or experts together. Within what I know, within the field of environmental criminology, there's a concept we call situational crime prevention. Situational crime prevention as a concept takes away that whatever the criminals, whatever they are thinking, whatever, we put them away and try and see how people can manipulate the environment, how they can do things to take control back so that it won't be a state of lamentation. So what generally that entails just analyzing of patterns, to analyze the patterns of these criminals. How do they operate? This we can analyze the pattern that they look for opportunities, they abduct people, they kidnap people, and then they demand for ransom. That is the modus operandi. Yeah, so we have to analyze those patterns and know exactly the motivation. I would think the motivation is not far-fetched other than financial rewards. They kidnap people, they get millions of naira in ransom. I also think that part of that involves identifying high-risk priority areas. We know these things happen randomly. And from what we know, they don't happen everywhere in many cases. Even as brazen as these kidnappers are, they just don't go to marketplaces and kidnap people. They hit high-risk areas where they do all these areas. And based on that, governments across the state, based on scanning the environment, analyzing the environment, they must be able to identify the patterns of operation. They must be able to look at these high-risk areas, and they must be able to have rapid response within those high-risk areas. If you know that within, let's say, 100-kilometer stretch of road, there are certain spots there where they normally operate. You should be able to station, rapid response around those areas that the mandate could be, they should be at that area within 5 minutes of any form of, situation like that. That should be able, so that would take away the approach of us lamenting almost every time. I would think that would put us, the governor and the people, the police, the people in charge of security in that state, that put them in a better position to fight back. And also, we cannot stop without looking at issues around preventative measures. We have to look for preventative measures. And some of these preventative measures, they are very common sense kind of approach. They are very common sense. For argument's sake, these guys that were kidnapped, they haven't done anything wrong. They have the right to move around the country, but they were moving at 7 p.m. From what I gathered, they were leaving Benue around 7 p.m. local time, coming down to Southwest. Where in Southwest, I don't know, but I read it online. The key question is this: if you have areas that are prone to kidnapping, again, I'm just trying to put this out there as preventative measures. Is it possible that people will limit their traveling at nighttime? If you feel that, this based on the risk analysis they've done, that is highly likely that these kidnappers, they operate at night, as brazen as they are, they don't go to marketplaces and just grab people during daytime. Can people try to restrict their movement? At least for now, until government can find a lasting solution. I'm just throwing this out there as a way of prevention, which they say is better than cure. And also, just to continue with citizen education around the need for everyone to be safe and to, to intensify intelligence gathering and intelligence analysis. We've spoken about intelligence gathering 101 times on this program. But that is what I would think we need to put more responsibility, on the state governors. They collect all the big billions of nairas for, security votes and all that. What are they doing with it? And obviously they can collaborate with the federal government. What are they doing with the security votes? Which in many states, that is why the state governments, they are so, I guess, very, very interesting to many of our politicians, because they are the lords in those states and they do whatever they want to do. And I think in terms of accountability, they must be able to account for what they do with all the security votes that they get.
Yes, Femi, let me help some of our viewers that are just joining us. Beautiful, resourceful tips you're doing there. So viewers, it's a situation that we said, it's sad that every time we come to the studio, this is what we talk about. and we're talking about adoption, killings, and all of these things. Now, Femi is giving us what you call a resourceful tips that could be applied. We hope some authorities are listening. I mean, this is coming from the mouth of a security expert. That's Wale Olaiton, a safety practitioner based in Melbourne, Australia. So, Wale, the other thing is, we Nigeria, like we use the word sovereignty, Now, why can't the security arm of Nigeria, but even though some guys, a lot of people will say they are doing their best, but they need to do more. Why can't they also have control over our road? It's Nigeria road, it's Nigeria forest, it's Nigeria. This is federal government conclaves, property, however you call it. Why can't we stand and say our thing is that nobody should come in and be doing all of this to us? Nobody should own the road at a particular time. You're talking of them moving around 7 o'clock. I mean, freedom of movement. And they are driving on a Nigerian road. So what happened to the security men that used to normally stay on the road, and at that time now they're not more there? It's sometimes these are questions you will find hard to put together. But Wale, can you help us with the results?
Yeah, look, I know exactly where you're coming from in terms of, as citizens, they have rights to move around anywhere. I live in a society that no one tells me when not to go out. You live in a similar society where no one tells you shouldn't go out at social time, and you are free to do whatever you want to do. So I definitely get your point around what you're saying, but I also know that every problem has to be localized. In finding solutions to problems, you have to try and localize the problem. I agree with you that certainly government has to provide police security along roads. But I also know that even in the society that I live, there are communities that the nearest police station sometimes, as you go into the rural areas, that the nearest police station is just about an hour drive in some areas in Australia. As you know, it's also a very big, large area of land. And I know probably in America and some places in Europe, they may have the same kind of situation. So my point is that no government, no country, no matter how big or how resourceful they are, have the capacity to be able to monitor all the roads and all the seaports and everything. When you talk about even seaport, even with the biggest countries in the world, you still have illegal things coming through their ports, because no country has the capacity to monitor everything coming in through that. But in saying that, some people have they've chosen to be governors, some people have chosen to be ministers, some people have chosen to be the president of the country. So if we're talking about security and we're talking about lives of the people, obviously the buck stops somewhere. We're not going to blame the citizens. What I said about people limiting their kind of traveling is just within the situational crime prevention that puts a bit of responsibility on people as well, that people, to some degree, you have to take responsibility for your personal safety. That was what I was alluding to, in my comment. But overall, like we said many times on this program, it is still the job of the security, the government, and if they cannot really provide security, maybe if we're having, like in Benue now, maybe the commissioner of police has done enough. Maybe he's lost the energy, or maybe he's lost the ingenuity to come up with ideas on how to fight crime in the state. Maybe there's a need to try some other hungry men and women who are within the police force that are more hungry, that they're ambitious and they want to prove themselves. Maybe it's time to do that and reshuffle and bring fresh eyes into some of these communities. Because just last week we had a case of some worshippers at St. John's Church. They were doing vigil, they were kidnapped in the same state.
Same state, but the choir situation was far more gruesome and more not with more casualty. You remember the Kwara State? Kwara was like a whole town wiped out on the. I mean,
look, my take on this is this. I think we've said this on this program. There's
several times,
approach to fighting terrorism. You cannot adopt that same approach in fighting kidnapping, banditry, even though they are all crime. If you want to categorize them, they are all crimes, but they are motivated for different reasons. The motivation behind a terrorist is different to the motivation behind a kidnapper, for argument's sake, even though sometimes they come together under that same umbrella of kind of crime business, where they use one money from this aspect to fund other aspects. But I would think that in fighting kidnapping and fighting abduction and all that, I think it should be more of police work. It should be around having intelligence gathering and be able to look at hotspots to really come up with some of these rapid response. I think I read something. It's not even read. I watched something in Edo some months ago. They had this rapid response. I saw the guys. They were like really ready. They were like running in the forest with the kidnappers. They were ready. They were not like they were like ready. If you want to fire me, fire me. I'm going to fire you back. That kind of approach. I would think that every state should adopt that. I saw the video. I saw committed men that they were not riding or running away. They were physically chasing these kidnappers or, I would think that every state should also come up with some form of
such ideas.
Their own, security apparatus.
Nice. Wow. Good one. You dived in very well on this issue, Wale. So let's hope that, ears that are hearing and those that are also at that sector, security men.
They don't listen. My God, win. They don't listen. They don't listen to. I've had even at one time or the other, I've shared some ideas like on crime prevention in different areas that I've shared it.
Okay.
Just like feeling the need to support in one way or the other. And you look for emails, address of relevant government departments. I've done it a few times. I've done it on counterterrorism and all that. Now you just look for email address. You're not asking them for money. You're not asking them for anything.
Yes.
You're just saying that I'm a Nigerian Diaspora. I have special skills in this certain area. I've followed this problem. These are my ideas. It might be about 10-page documents. You don't even get the response. You don't even get your response. You don't even get
maybe
a response.
They don't even access their email. Maybe they don't even access the feedback emails and all of that.
You can't be so sure. Well, I've done that a few times. I had a few of those documents that I just create, depending on different topics. It could be 6-page. It would be just empirical and research-based kind of document that you see some ideas, they're practical ideas. No one has got all the ideas, but you think that even when you share that with people in government, you're not asking them for money. They should at least respond and acknowledge. But sometimes you don't get anything back.
Let's hope that very soon Nigeria will come to that level where people can give good, resourceful tips, advices, and counsel, and they take heed, and we change our situation for good. This is where we're going to. Wale, let's go into other issues also.
Okay.
The Occupy National Assembly protest that began last week is still continuing. It's still going on. Yes, they are protesting over the e-transmission of election results. That protest is still continuing. I'm seeing more people coming out every month, every time, every day. And but Wale, what do you say? Let's hear your views on this e-transmission of results.
It is a very interesting concept. Any topic around electoral integrity, any topic around electoral reforms, any topic that will make our elections more credible. Like any person speaking about politics and democracy should be actively involved and should be interested. So I've just tried to really gather as much information as possible on this to be able to have a kind of informed opinion. I just don't want to just talk because there are a few technical issues there, and I don't think I have all the technicalities. So what I've just done, is that I've looked at what are people asking for. So the protesters, civil society organization, they're asking for real-time electronic transmission of results to be mandatory. That is what they're asking for. Just last week, the Senate, passed the Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Reenactment Amendment Bill 2026 through through third reading. So that was what they did. They passed, the reenactment bill in bill of 2026. But the key issue, because I have to write some things down because I really want to really understand what the issues are. So in doing that, the Senate failed to approve the proposed amendment to clause 60, subsection 3 of the bill, which sought to make electronic transmission of election result mandatory. So the comrades on the streets, they are saying that, okay, you've amended it, but we want to have the electronic transmission of the results to be mandatory, to be in the law. The interesting part, the Senate, through the Senate president, he is saying, look, we've not rejected your proposal. All we've done was to retain the provision in 2022 Electoral Act. And that provision is this: the presiding officer shall transfer the results, including the total number of accredited voters and the results of the ballot, in a manner as prescribed by the commission. So in a way, they are saying that it is a matter for INEC to decide how they want to go about that transfer of the result. And people on the street are saying that we want a real-time transmission of the results. I know why they're asking for it. We know that they want it to be, to be credible. They want it to be transparent. People have argued that between the polling units and by the time the results get to the collation center, people have manipulated the result and all that. But the key issues that I'm just trying to really look at, based on, I've listened to both sides of the argument. People have argued about people that are asking for real-time transmission of the results. Do they consider the level of technology needed to do that in terms of countries that have stable electricity or power, or in terms of, and also to look at it in terms of even the network of, like, we've had our only two internet problem here tonight. You live in a very advanced country. I live in an advanced country. We've had our only two interruptions here tonight. So people on the other side, they argue that, look, what you're saying is really good, but Nigeria as it is today, we don't have the capability to be able to guarantee that they'll be able to transmit the results real time. So these are the key issues that, I think we have to say, is there any middle ground in between? The protesters, they are saying that there's no middle ground. That is what they're asking for. They want the real-time transmission of the results. People on the other side, they are saying, the government, they are saying that they don't want to put, quoting Akpabio, I read something credited to him, that they don't want to put INEC in a difficult position whereby people will go to court. In situations whereby INEC or Senate approve that electronic transmission or real-time result is mandatory, that in cases where there's a place in Borno, for whatever reason, if they're unable to transmit that result real-time, or even somewhere else, that they're unable, that someone will go to court and challenge that result on the basis that INEC was unable to transmit that result real-time. These are some of the comply with the law, because if the law has been mandatory for real-time electronic transfer, people are going to challenge that. So
people will challenge that.
The people will challenge that.
It's complicated. Yeah.
I don't really have the real answer, but a few things that I think is that I would think there will be need for more advocacy among the civil society organizations. I would think there's a place for protest, but there's also the limitation for protest. I would think I live in a democracy, you live in a democracy. There's a way, even with the most contentious bills in where I live, that government has to go and even talk to a party that ideally you won't see government of the day having any discussion with parties like that. But if they need a number to pass the bill, they have to go to that level. I'm not exactly sure how far the opposition party, I'm not blaming anyone, or people, our comrades in the civil society organization, I'm not exactly sure how far they've gone in advocacy and creating general public awareness about what they are fighting for. I'm not saying, I think there's a disconnect between the group and there are millions of people in Nigeria. If you really want to really look at people at the National Assembly, the kind of outcry they are giving, I don't feel they're reading anything online. I don't feel that, even though they are having it. So maybe they need to do more advocacy. Maybe we need to advocate for more people, electoral education, citizenship education, people not collecting money before they vote to make sure their vote counts. Some people have argued that the problem with Nigeria is not necessarily whether you transmit that result at the polling booths by taking photo of it and upload it on IRF. Some people have said that the real issue is just about the collation. That even what the agitators are asking for now will not guarantee that the accurate result will be collated. I've read that argument. I'm not a technology expert. It's not my area. But what I've done, I know it's a very technical thing. I read as many things as possible on both sides to be able to really understand what the issues are. Both sides.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Viewers, we are talking today on African updates, the Occupy National Assembly arrangement going on, protests going on in Abuja over the e-transmission of electronic results being put out in real time. So real time has become the key word there.
The key word there, yeah.
People have also said that the problem could be that the Senate, I don't really understand this whole working, that why isn't INEC the one making the conversation, and the Senate will now probably enforce it as a law, and the country, the president will sign, because by the end of this month, like Apabio said, the Electoral Act Amendment will be given to the president to sign. So, the president will have to now sign it as a bill. It becomes a bill in the constitution. So what about if they've allowed INEC as the electoral body to decide and say, because it is INEC that has all these whole arrangement. It is INEC that knows if real time they can do this job or not. It's INEC that also understands the machineries and equipments that will be used. So why is the Senate talking about this when they are not the practical personnel on that issue? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand. Yeah, I got your point.
So yes,
I think there's a reason why INEC is not the one proposing this, or INEC is not the one really pushing for this. I would think that INEC, whoever is leading INEC, will be very careful not to put himself or herself in that situation of real-time transmission of results. Whoever is leading knows that he or she will be judged, his failure or whatever, or his credibility will be based on that. I would think that whoever is leading INEC will play very, very safe, not to change, to put himself in that very difficult position. How far have they consulted with INEC? I don't know, in terms of the Senate and all the members of Assembly. In the part of the world where I live, when they're having critical discussion like this, they will call the experts in those areas. The Senate, the House of Reps will summon the relevant government bodies as part of their deliberations to hear from them, because they are the experts in that. As part of that inquiry.
Sorry, Wale, hang on. No, don't leave what you're saying, but let's have Dr. Lufemi Karunwi join us. Dr. Femi is here too. Yes. So I'm really ready to hear Dr. Femi, because as much as I want to. Yes, Dr. Femi, good morning. You're welcome. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
Say hi to.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Dr. Femi? Can you hear me?
I think it is his network for now.
Let me go out and come back in. I can't hear you.
Okay. So yes, you were saying that normally they should have brought experts, and that's very advisable.
I would think like the way they do things in the part of the world where I live now, they will have called experts. They will have called experts not just from INEC to testify as part of this. They will have called some other people that can provide, I guess, more technical knowledge about how it works. And I think that will guide them in making their decision around whether to adopt the electronic real-time electronic transfer or not. But Dr. Femi, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Clearly.
Yes, we can. Clearly.
Can you hear me?
Very well. Yes.
Well, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Are you muted? Are you check
I can't hear you.
Are you muted on your side? Can you check whether you are muted?
Yes, he's not. He's all clear here anyway. Very clear. Dr. Femi, we need you to really speak up and get connected. Anyway, Dr. Femi, maybe Wale, maybe that it might come to that before it's finally passed as a bill. Maybe we'll need to have experts coming to say, because the Senate, they are just policy makers. They don't even understand the rudiments, the workings behind some of this thing, So what they are doing is saying things out of their own reasoning, which is not how it should be. There should be experts. INEC also should be represented. One or two of INEC officers should be there. Other experts should be there. Minister of Communication could also be there to give points to how it could be, because that issue matters, Wale. Okay, Wale, let's come to. Okay. Yeah, you want to?
No, I think I've made my points there around it. But if there are two issues that I think both sides should consider, those for and those who are not for, do they have any response to the issues around the technology required? Do we have enough technology in Nigeria to sustain what they want us to do? Do we have, with the national grid falling apart almost every few months, do we have stable electricity to be able to power that? They should consider that. And they should also consider, do we have the necessary security measures to prevent hackers tampering with our system, so that we won't be solving one problem and be creating another bigger problem? So I think there are a few things they have to consider.
Okay, really. You have to consider. Very good. All right, let's go into other topic. We heard that the Russian envoy.
Dr. Femi is back. Just check whether I can hear us. Dr. Femi is back.
Yes, I see him. But Dr. Femi, can you hear us now? He's off again. I think he's probably because he's not in his base. I think he's somewhere else. And maybe
he's in the university.
So Russia is saying that they did not recruit any Nigerian into the to fight against the Ukraine war. The Russian ambassador to Nigeria came out categorically to say this. Wale, we saw videos of black men not only Nigerians, Africans, different nationalities, complaining that they were tricked into coming to fight. For it's both sides now, not only Russia. Ukraine too has those recruits, those people that were conscripted into their army. What do you know about this? Do you have any intelligence on this?
Look, my general take is just appeal to people. I will use very basic common sense here tonight. You know, when we talk about millions of Africans trying to create, cross the Mediterranean seas and, perish in that process and everything, it's one of the reasons why I join programs like this, to advocate for better living conditions at home, to end abject poverty at home, to make all those unnecessary risk, to prevent our people from taking all these unnecessary risk.
Yeah,
I'll put this in that same category. That look, a country is fighting a war, then someone is telling you they want you to be a domestic or civilian, to be driving truck or to be security guard, because that is, some of these guys, that is what they said. They were out, they were brainwashed into going into it. Look, I think there's a reason why we are all adults, and part of being adults is just you have to take personal responsibility for your own actions.
Okay.
If I was still in Nigeria, I'm not saying this, and I'm picking my words carefully. And I know people on the other side might say, "Look, you are in your comfortable place. You don't know how people are suffering." But I've been a student in Nigeria. I went through struggle. If I ask you your own story, you went through your own struggle when you were there before you traveled. When I decided to travel, no disrespect to people that have traveled through very risky means. I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not disrespecting their hustle. But what I'm saying is that there's still basic common sense that every person has to apply. If someone is telling you to come to Russia, to come and be a driver, to come and be a cleaner, to come and be whatever they've told them, and this is a country fighting war, that you read in the papers, they are losing men almost every day. Both sides are losing men.
Yeah.
I will really treat that information of any employment coming from either Ukraine or Russia. I would treat that very, very, very carefully. So that is my just common sense take on this. I would think that I don't expect anything else from the Kremlin. The ambassador to Nigeria speaks for the Kremlin. Kremlin will never admit that they've done anything like that. But we know that people have been tricked. There was a video about a month ago. I'm not so sure, Mark Godwin, whether you came across that video. Two Nigerian men, I think from the way they speak, they are both Yoruba. They made that video, I think, a few weeks after they made that video. One of them died. And I read about, I did a few minor follow-up. One of the guy I gathered, the one that reportedly died, he was in the Nigerian Air Force before he left Nigeria to go to Russia, whatever pretense, he ended up fighting, on the side of Russians in that war. So with respecting, I'm praying for him to rest in peace, and also his parents, that he left behind. There's one part of me that what made him to leave Nigeria and his job. He had a job in the Air Force. What made him to do it with that job and went to faraway Russia to fight with the Russian, and then people will sit them out. And
can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, so on this, I won't waste too much time on it, not discrediting it, not downgrading, lies. But I think that if two countries fighting war, you read the stories, you see what's going on. Someone is telling you, come and work as a domestic servant, a driver, or as whatever guard. I think even the younger version of me, when I was very much younger and very risk averse, I wasn't as risk adverse as I am now. I would definitely think very, very, very deeply before I take that, that option. And sadly, that's what I've got to say on this. But I would like to hear Dr. Femi's views as well.
Femi is with us. Dr. Femi, viewers, that's the man that's shaking the airwaves. Dr. Femi, I need you to connect with my personal, not the Schengen YouTube, my personal YouTube, Massive Mark. You're blowing up that place there. I don't know if probably you sent your gang, your squad there. Some of your views there have like 10,000. I need you to really go come there. Maybe I'll send you the link to subscribe so you can see. Now, Dr. Femi, the argument has been hot here today. Dr. Wale, Honorable Wale has taken over your space and said a lot too.
Honorable Wale has got his space. No one is taking it. Yeah. No one is ever taking that.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
Thank you,
anyway,
Doctor.
Guys, let's go on the first one. Dangote refinery drops petrol price to 774 per liter. Is this good news, or what do we can still do more? Let me start with Dr. Femi since he just came.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, let him talk fast as possible. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Wale. Yeah, it's good news, and that is what market forces normally do. When we talk about privatization and market forces, that's what we normally do. I remember when we had telecommunications, private investment in telecommunication was so expensive. I personally bought a SIM card for 33,000 in those days. I'm talking about 2000, 2003, 2001, 2003. Yeah, and now it's free. And they even give you credit on it. And that is what market forces and also privatization brings into it. So gradually we're getting there. Petrol has been bought for almost 2,000 naira before. Now it's 7 and something naira. And we are having it. It's only that it's lower, it's getting lower, it's also readily available. And that's what's happening. All over the world, we go to filling stations in the United Kingdom, different prices at different stations. So this is good for Nigeria.
Wow, good for Nigeria. So viewers, you've heard that Dangote refinery drops petrol price to 774 per liter. That reduction will be issued. The group says it's with immediate effect. It's not like something they will do later. They say immediate effect. It starts. Wale, good news. Is that correct? Is that good news?
It is good news, and I totally agree with Dr. Olufemi on this. Is $25 per liter going to the pockets of everyone in Nigeria, all consumers. So and that's if you look at it in terms of the impact on that on the economy, people are spending less on transportation to get to work. There's increase their disposable income that comes to their pockets. There's reduced cost of living. Overall boost to the economic activities, like even the local producer producing bread, if they're using they're using they're saving money, they can produce more. Yeah, so one in agreement with Dr. Femi on this.
I only hope Nigerian entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs, would transfer these savings for the consumers, because that is where our problem is in Nigeria. As far as this goes in, the producers and the local entrepreneurs don't transfer these savings to the consumers. That is where the problem is. Petroleum, the cost of transportation has been high when it was 1,000, and now it's 7 and something naira. Are we seeing the difference in the cost of transportation? The answer is no. So it is still there. It is not still Dangote. It is not the government. It's all we ourselves are doing ourselves. And that is where the challenge of governance is for the government, the challenge amongst ourselves as a people. We need to begin to challenge ourselves as a people. Are we doing the right thing for ourselves?
Our people. Yes, a lot of time we've said this in this network. Sometimes the issue we should focus on the masses, Nigerian citizens. The mentality of everybody, like Wale will say, and Olufemi, get rich quick syndrome, all of that is not helping any way in our progress. All right, gentlemen, let's wrap up. We've had issues here actually, but we've discussed a lot of things. There's this one that concerns us as media people. The young man that took over his father's business, Dopesi Jr., that's Raymond Dopesi Jr. He's agitating for social media being regulated. He says there's a threat to our national security if our social media is not regulated. But I know that sometime last year, there was the new Cybercrime Act that was done by this National Assembly. Dr. Femi, the boy was saying that the gentleman was saying, yes, that digital platforms are taking over the normal media space. That somebody could be with his phone and he's having a million people following him, whereas the conventional media homes are still struggling with such thing. So what do you guys say? Let's come to Wale now. Wale, you're a strong man on media. Do you think?
Yeah, look, I would see it as just, he hasn't said anything new in terms of responsibility. Whoever has got opportunity to have influence to bring people together, we are all smartphone journalists now, because with our smartphones we can do anything.
Yeah,
we should know that for every kind of rights, there are responsibility attached to it. People should use it well, and they shouldn't just. There are many cases now, of one blogger or influencer that was arrested. In Nigeria, it's very relevant to what we're saying. People should know that the fact that you've got a phone, whatever, in front of you, and you have thousands of people following or millions, that shouldn't give you that power of just blackmailing everyone or just saying things that you yourself deep down, you know that it is not true, or you cannot verify. That is just the way I say it, that for every right that we have, we have responsibilities as well, and we should be very, very careful that we shouldn't, bully people. We should be very careful. We should use it for what we're using it for: promote national peace, economic prosperity, good governance. And I know on your platform as well, if you have a guest, if that guest is saying something that it's not really, really accurate, you have the responsibility as the host not to let it go, to challenge that person, even though you may not change that person's view, but to be on record that you didn't allow that to go. That is kind of the personal responsibility we have, as guests and as hosts, so that it won't just be like a jungle where anyone could just come and say whatever they want to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're all hosts in this sense. It's not just me. Everybody's our thing. For us, by us. Fubu, for us, by us. Sorry, Dr. Olufemi. Yes.
I need to. Yes, this gentleman we're talking about is someone I know very well. He doesn't just jump onto news media to just say anything. This is something that is very concerning, especially with the world of the AI, which is readily available now. Now we should be very careful. We see young people who have large following on social media who will just say anything just to catch the cruise, and people will think is the truth. Now begin to sell, even to the extent that when we start hearing lies, the same thing, after a while, you start believing that is the truth. And people begin to do that on social media. Everybody now thinks that they can say anything because they've got an iPhone. You just say anything, they sit in the bedroom and say, I know that this is, and they don't know. And this is very common, especially where we come from. If you're not careful, the third world war will start from social media. If you're not careful.
Did you guys hear that, viewers? Third World War, there's also the quotes now by Dr. Olufemi. Third World War will start with social media, so we put it with it. Anyway, guys, so something interesting happened yesterday. I was following that because somehow we had a strange meeting of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Ibrahim Babangida, one time Nigerian president. Now we were saying, what are these men up to, meeting together and talking? When they asked Atiku, he said he came to relay the update on the electoral thing to IBB. Gentlemen, what do you think could be behind? Because the meeting was closed door, they didn't allow anybody come. What could be behind this interesting February Tuesday meeting? Dr. Olufemi, you're laughing. What could be there? This is just by the way. It's not.
The boat are sailed. The boat are sailed. All this idea of this northern hegemony is gone. It's gone. So that they're still doing. They're still thinking that this is 1983 and thereabout. That is gone. The thing is that even the average northern Nigerian is beginning to see the fully of these so-called northern leaders. They don't have an interest of a common man. So their gathering is going to gathering onto nothing. Now, let me just explain this carefully. Now, elections are around the corner, and they are going to meet in closed doors meeting. Who are they meeting with? Maradona, the one that annulled the election, the best election in the history of Nigeria, the one that annulled it. So they're going to have a meeting with that. And these are the people that say they are the ones that are going to bring a new Nigeria. Let us be careful. The wolves are guarding again. The vultures are meeting again. Where are they meeting? On the carcass, in the Mina Hill, on Mina Hill. So Nigerians, be careful. They are meeting again.
They are meeting again. Anyway, Wale, do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, not much really. I think most of these leaders, they are in a very difficult positions. People will come, they want to visit. The same problem Obasanjo is having. People will come and visit them here and there. I think they are not stupid. They know he's going to win, or he's competitive. They know he's not competitive. I think it's just some of these politicians that are making jokes of themselves. You know, that's just my summary.
Making jokes of themselves. All right. Yeah, also, finally, to wrap it up, thank you, Wale. Thank you, Dr. Femi. Akpabio has defended the Senate. He said, there will be, like we said earlier, Wale, they will be submitting the bill for the president's signature. He has said the electoral amendment arrangement is still going on against the public criticism. But they are still doing what they have to do. Dr. Femi, you've said a lot, but we keep hitting ourselves on this. Why not, like me and Wale and I said, why not let's have thorough due diligence on this issue. We were saying, why not bring in all the experts to the Senate? Also, why not have a representative of INEC, 1 or 2 or even 3? Because the issues stops on INEC's off decks. So they can't be making a bill and saying things in their absentia. So, Dr. Femi, let's hear what you have again today, even though I'll punch it when I have the time.
Thank you very much for giving me the platform to do this. Please, this bill and this discussion have been on for years, and it has been debated. There's town hall meetings. There are opportunities for everyone to put their mouth and put their ideas into this. They've not done this. Those who need to do it have put in their words into it, and they've added their ideas into it. Those who are clamoring for this stop that, are playing to the gallery. Nowhere in the world, I repeat, where electronic voting is directly going into records, IREF, nowhere in the world. The only 2 places that are major places that this had done had ended up in crisis. Venezuela and Brazil, they have ended up in crisis. What this IRF thing is all about, those who are clamoring and shouting, they do not know what they are talking about. So they have been cowed with this information that they don't want to use IRF. What INEC is just said and National Assembly has passed is this. They are going to use IRF electronically. Electronic voting will happen, record will be taken, but when the results are counted, voting is done by paper. When they count the votes at the polling stations, they will count where everybody is there. They will put the numbers down, write it down, scan it, take a picture of it, and put it in IRF. It goes to INEC and is counted. That is what is transmitted, e-transmitted, shown to the centers, and that's what they're talking about. It's still on. What opposition and the people that are playing to the gallery are trying to do is making as if that's not going to happen. It's going to happen. elections will take place. People will vote, thumbprint, and that will be counted. When it's counted, the officials will sign. There, over 7 and something thousand people who are the polling booth all over Nigeria will sign, and when they sign, they will take those pictures and put it on IRF. You go to the center, and they will count. Now, what they're saying is that it must be time bound. Now, if you say time bound, if you are looking, election is not Abuja, election is not in Abeokuta, neither is in Lagos. Election goes farther into the eastern land of Nigeria. So if you now say it's time bound, if they vote at 6 p.m., finishing at 6 p.m., they put it is still rolling and rolling and rolling in Yenegua or in Ida land in Taraba, and it's not rolling. Taraba, you can travel within Taraba for 5 hours inside Taraba State, and it does not go on time. And I say because it doesn't go at 7 o'clock, those people have been disenfranchised. That is what those people are campaigning are saying, that it must go at a particular time. That is wrong. That is disenfranchising millions of Nigeria. What we are talking about is that whenever it is counted, pictures are taken, sent to IRF, it will be counted from there. That is what INEC, that's what Senate passed. But people are making them look as if the Senate say they can't use electronic IRF. That's what they are selling to the community, the public, and that is wrong. That is what Dr. C. Jr. is saying. Don't let social media and people who have ulterior motive use that to stir up crisis. Senate have passed the correct bill, sent voters record to do. Opposition should be doing what opposition, instead of running around in front of National Assembly. They should be going around to go and recruit officers who will sit in their polling booth to work for them. Labour Party had over 45,000 people who they did not pay last election, and those people are not ready to work for them, and they are the one that held their results in their hand that they refuse to give to them, and that's why they lost election. Instead of to go and work on those now, they are sitting in front of the National Assembly making noise. That will not help our democracy. Thank you.
This is hot. Wale, do you want to
I don't have to respond because my response before was very clear. I didn't speak for or against. I maintain a kind of a middle position where I appeal to common sense and logic. I remember I asked to make questions. I asked how, in terms of the real time, what are we really talking about in a country that we don't have stable electricity, and a country that the network, we've had our own network issues here tonight, in a country that we can't even guarantee stable, internet facility. What are we really talking about? Real time of results. So I've made my point, very clear. The kind of what I alluded to was when you were saying that maybe they should have called, when you said that they should have left that responsibility to INEC to determine
yes. So that's what we're saying.
Time or not. And that was when I said I wasn't privy to the kind of consultation that happened at the National Assembly. I said that in the kind of the world where I live, in some cases when I'm making some big decisions like that, they get the expert from that government department to come and provide their views to the House of Rep or Senate. I'm not exactly sure whether they did that this time around. And I also said that as a body, INEC will try not to put themselves in a messy situation, knowing that they cannot guarantee what people really want them to do. They cannot guarantee that real-time transmission for the two factors I mentioned, there are technology and also of the supporting infrastructure for that technology. That if I was the INEC chairman, I won't really put my neck out for that, because I will know that I'm asking for something that I will not be able to deliver, and people will hold me accountable for not fulfilling my promise. But this will be something outside my control because I cannot guarantee. And I also said something in a very funny one around how can we guarantee. We saw the last time some people were actually telling a presidential candidate they were going to hack the system for him. So people have technology and they are very good. How are we going to guarantee that? How are we not going to solve one problem and create a bigger problem? Because if I was a candidate or whatever, and there's people that have better technology have hacked into the system to make that result in the favor of their candidate. Can we be saying that is, a free and fair election? So I don't have the answer. So what I've done is I look at the complete argument.
We'll be going with the situation. We are media people, we're news people. We just look at all the situations from both sides. Anyway, Tinubu. Anyway, viewers, Tinubu is expected to sign the amendment electoral bill this month. Akpabio, the Senate leader, has said, and he's expected to sign it. But we urge Akpabio to do all due diligence on this issue before it's being signed, so that everybody is carried along.
It has been done.
Okay, are you very sure? You very sure?
It has been done. It took 2 years.
Due diligence bring in NITEL. What's the communication office companies we have? All of those companies should have one.
Don't let us play to the gallery. No matter who you bring there, they cannot go and put NITEL post or telecom post into the villages in Taraba or in the hinterland in Borno or Sokoto or over the seas. There are some cities there are some towns in the River Rhine in the south. You travel 4 hours on water before you go to those villages. Would they go and take those things in over there? It takes some time for that to happen. When you in Delta State, when you load, it won't send. They have to load and then go over the water, come into Yenegua and let it load before it can go on to that. Will you disenfranchise those people? Those are the things we look at. Yeah. What I'm talking about is that those of us in the city who are elite, you are elitist, who are elites in this country, are being selfish. We are thinking about ourselves. We think we are the one that votes. We don't vote. Those people in those places vote more than we do. They take election more seriously than we do. And we are talking about disenfranchising them because we can send in emails, we can send things in Lagos and do in Abuja, it goes immediately. It takes more than that in some areas. And they have their right to vote. And we shouldn't take that away from them.
Okay. So, gentlemen, awesome. Wale came late. I know would have had Dr. Olufemi came late. I know would have had more talk on all of this. But, let's convene next Friday if you can. We're talking about the Russia denying taking any forced military men into their army. Ukraine, Russia, we know they've been doing that. It's not a hidden thing. Also, take note that the games are still on here in my place, not far from me. In fact, last time I was at the venue, we have the
Winter Olympics.
Game. Yes, so take note, it's going on, but it's also riddled with a lot of protests. Italians, Europeans are angry that so much money is put into all these things, and their people are suffering. They're saying some people don't have homes, and they are putting billions into a game that will come and go. So we're talking about all of this on Friday. If you're there, it would be nice to have you guys. Well, until then, I want to thank you all for coming.
People suffer in Europe.
Thank you, Mark Godwin. It's always
good. People suffer in Europe.
Yeah.
I thought it was only in Nigeria. I thought it was only in Nigeria that people suffer.
If you see the protest,
I thought it was only in Nigeria that people suffer.
They are smashing things. They are bringing.
Tell that to Nigerians. Tell that to Nigerians that people suffer in Europe as well. Because they think that Europe and America is heaven.
They said the economy has gone high. But
on the more funny side, there is this man I follow on Facebook, Baba Igbe. If you want to see someone talking, there's this guy based in London, I think, or somewhere in UK. It's called Baba Igbe. He has these videos. Pretty much, if I really want to laugh, to be honest, I go to his page. He provides me a bit of therapy.
I'll go and follow him. I'll go and follow him.
Pretty much, all Baba Igbe is saying is that please don't sell your property.
I'll go
and sell your land to go to anywhere, Europe or wherever, because they don't want Pig's money from the street of London or Italy or wherever. But it's a very, very funny man. To be honest, it's a good therapy for me. I go there to laugh.
Nice. We'll join you. We'll go there too. All right, guys. Have a great midweek.
I'll take the prescription.
Yeah, thank you for coming, and see you next time. So, viewers, thank you. We did some extra minute. We're sorry we're sorry for all the network issues and everything. Well, it was a beautiful outing, and thank you, Wale Olaiton, for coming. Thank you, Dr. Lufemi, the man that is he's not backing down. No matter how you come, he will put it to you what. All right, guys, go have your beautiful week. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. God bless. Yeah.